My technical advisor has just come in and informed me that you can't hear me. So I shall talk a little bit louder and see if that helps. There we go. I hope I'm not upsetting the neighbours now, but there we go. Right. Grab yourself a pen, a bit of paper, and get your team together for tonight's big juicy quiz. 100 points on offer. There are some secret bonus questions in there where you could get a lot more points. And all your favourites and usual silly stuff are in there too. Let's get cracking. It's January. Oh, yes, it is. Don't start all that again. And so 10 questions all about January. 1 point for each correct answer, if you please. Question number 1. Most celebrated in Scotland. Which poet is celebrated on the 25th of January? Most celebrated in Scotland. Which poet is celebrated on the 25th of January? You know the one. The one gives you another excuse to have New Year's Eve all over again. I will recap them, of course. And remember the rules of the big juicy quiz. No Googling, no cahooting, and no canoodling, if you please. Question number 2. Which world city's name means River of January? See, they're all about January. Which world city's name literally means River of January? Mrs. Malone hasn't come running down the street again, so I'm presuming you can all hear me now. Question number 3. Margaret Thatcher Day, yes, it's a real thing, is on the 10th of January, but only in one part of the world. Which part of the world do you reckon would celebrate Margaret Thatcher Day? If you don't know, it's always worth a guess, I like to say. It's always worth a guess. Question 4. Which astrological sign represents the period January the 20th to February the 18th? Which star sign represents the period January 20th to February the 18th? Question number 5. January has 31 days. How many other months also have 31 days? So January, it's got 31. How many other months have 31 as well? I can hear you all singing that song right now. Hello to all the YouTubers, you are most welcome. If you're on the Facebook, don't forget you can tell us your team name in the comment section. Question number 6. What is January's birthstone? What is January's birthstone? It comes from a 14th century English word that means dark red. Question number 7. Which American federal holiday is observed on the third Monday of January every year? Which American holiday is observed on the third Monday of January every year? Question number 8. What singer was born with the name David Robert Jones on the 8th of January 1947? Which singer who was born with the name David Robert Jones, you know it, was born on the 8th of January 1947? 1 point for every correct answer if you have just joined us. I will be recapping them. Question number 9 on January goes a bit like this. What American institution opened its first location in the Soviet Union on the 31st of January 1990? Which American institution opened its first location in the Soviet Union on January the 31st, 1990? Not many to choose from, I would surmise. And top of the shop on its January. Which rock and roll Hall of Famer was born in Tupelo, Mississippi on January the 8th, 1935? Which American Hall of Famer, rockstar, superstar, supremo was born in Tupelo, Mississippi on January the 8th, 1935? Those are your first 10 questions to have a little bit of think about, and then I'll give you a quick recappy. Right then, your first 10 questions on It's January. Number 1, which most celebrated in Scotland? Which poet is celebrated on the 25th of January? Number 2, which world city's name means River of January? Margaret Thatcher Day is the 10th of January, but where? Number 4, which astrological sign represents January the 20th to February the 18th? Number 5, if January has 31 days, how many other months also have 31? Number 6, what is January's birthstone? Number 7, which American federal holiday is observed on the third Monday of January every year? Number 8, what singer was born with the name David Robert Jones on January the 8th, 1947? Number 9, what American institution first opened its location in the Soviet Union on January the 31st, 1990? And number 10, what rock and roll superstar was born in Tupelo, Mississippi on January the 8th, 1935? Those are your first 10 questions for tonight's big juicy quiz. And if you want to win yourself a very easy 10 more points, then have a go at the bonus. On January the 3rd, 1888, an invention made of paraffin-covered paper was patented by Marvin Stone. What was it? Have a good think why you might want to put paraffin on paper and then call that an invention. What was it? I've got to make the bonus questions a little bit tricky. Right then, moving on to round number 2. Round number 2 tonight is Juicy Bits. You see, Mrs. Malone bought me a blender for Christmas, but what have I put in my blender to juice? So I'll show you a picture. You tell me what it is that I might be juicing in my juicer. Okay, simple as that. Here we go. Number 1. Mrs. But what is that exactly? I'll give you a closer look. What do we reckon that is? Clean answers only. Thank you very much. Remember, they are all things I might put in my juicer. Number 2 looks a bit like that. What have I put in my juicer here? Little bit trickier, that one, I would suggest. Have a closer look. Right then, number 3 in my juicer is this. What do we reckon that could be? Hello to all the latecomers. You haven't missed much, trust me. We are currently looking at things I might put in my juicer. So if you can work out what that is, that was number 3. I will recap them all at the end. Number 4. What's that? I've put it in my juicer, but what exactly is it? Remember, if you haven't got a clue, it's always worth a guess. Okay, how about that for number 5? It's a very odd looking one, I think you'll agree, and I'm not sure how much juice you can get out of these things, to be honest. I will let you know when I have my next smoothie. What do you reckon that is? Ready for the next one? Well, it looks a bit like that. Could be the easiest one going, I reckon. What have I put in my juicer there? Okay. Number 8. What's that? Lots of different types of those, but which one is that? Number 9 looks a bit like that. Looks like some sort of strange insect, but it's not. I've put it in my juicer. And number 10 is that one there. So what you've got to do is work out what they are, write them down, and if you're correct, you will have scored a point. Oh, sorry, that's number 10. Get me numbers all mixed up. That's number 10. Right, you have a quick think about that, and then I'll show you them all again with the correct numbers next to each one. All right. Right then, so juicy bits. All you have to do is work out what the item I have put in my juicer is and write it down. We've got 10 of them for you. Number 1 looks like that. Number 2 is that one. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And your last juicy one is that one there. Ten little things I've put in my juicer, write them down and you get a point. Now, would you like 10 bonus points? Yes, I would, Alfie, I hear you cry. Well, what type of fruit holds the world record for being the largest fruit ever grown? So which type of fruit holds the world record for being the largest? I will give you a little clue here. Remember, a fruit is anything that has the, let me get this right, the seeds on the inside. Alright, if it's got seeds inside it, it's a fruit. Like a tomato is a fruit, you see. Alright, so think about that carefully, because that could get you 10 bonus points. Wonderful stuff. Moving on to round 3 on the big juicy quiz. Who dis den? I'll show you 10 people and you tell me who you think it is. Okay, 1 point for each person you get right. Very straightforward this week. I'm just going to show you the picture. You tell me who it is and you get a point. Some might be a little bit obscure. Number 1. Who dis den? Start you off easy, I reckon. And number 2 looks like that. Who do you recognise? Full name, if you please. Number 3. Who dis den? Lots of wild guessing going on, going, oh, you know that bloke, he's the... Have a go at number 4. Number 4 is a very familiar face, but do you know his name? Number 5. If you don't recognise him, I can assure you this man has changed your life. the question is, who is he? Number 6 has a face like that. Who dis then? And number 7, now, number 7, this photo was taken a long time ago. Okay, so imagine what he might look like now. Look very carefully. You will kick yourselves if you don't get it, trust me. Number 8. Who is this? Number 9 looks a bit like that, but what's his name? And your last famous face is this one here. Have a good look. As you can probably tell, the photo was taken some time ago. It's not Wayne Rooney with hair, okay? That was just rude. It was taken a long, long time ago, but who is it? You know the rules. If you haven't got a clue, it's always worth a guess. Those are your 10 famous faces for you to have a good think about. So it's a simple enough question. Who dissed in? You tell us who you think it is, and you'll get a point. Number 1 was this one here. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And top of the shop, number 10. Go on, write something down quick. Get a guess in. You never know, you might be right. 10 famous faces, but the question now is, who wants 10 more bonus points? I do. Answer me this question. This is 2 people mashed together rather unceremoniously. But which 2 people is it? I will give you 5 points for each person. And there's an extra little clue lying around. Two famous faces, a little hint on the screen to help you out. 5 points for each of the people you get right, meaning you could get yourself 10, yes, 10 bonus points. Now, if you've just joined us, you are most welcome. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, and you can do the rest of the quiz. Your favourite rounds are still to come, so there's still time to get some points. Your next round is which is just a veiled way of me not having to say it's round 4. Okay? So, 10 questions, 1 point for each answer. Dead straightforward. Number 1. What type of animal was the toy Wheezy in Toy Story 2? Which animal was it? Okay, pretty straightforward. Number 2. Which book by Douglas Adams is his most famous? What's the most famous book written by Douglas Adams? You know the one. It's been a book and then another book. It's been a TV series. It's been a film. Write down the name of the book and you'll get a point. Number 3. Which famous annual sporting event was first held in 1981 and it was won by Dick Beardsley? Okay. It's a famous sporting event in the UK, I might add. Might give you a little clue. It was first held in 1981. And it was won by Dick Beardsley. But what was it? If you had no luck with that, see how you get on with number 4. Number 4, I want to know a 1976 film directed by Martin Scorsese. It starred Robert De Niro and it was set in New York. A very famous movie. 1976, directed by Martin Scorsese, starred Robert De Niro, and it's set in New York. But what is it? Number 5. Which group had top 10 hits with Kissing in the Back Row of the Movie? Oh no, we're not singing yet. That's the next round. Kissing in the Back Row of the Movies, Saturday Night at the Movies, and Save the Last Dance for Me. What's the name of the group? Number 6. In The Wizard of Oz, which character was looking for courage? Which character in The Wizard of Oz was looking for courage? Or for anybody watching in black and white, courage. Number 7. Which historical event is Captain Bligh best known? Which historical event is Captain Bligh best known? Try your luck at number 8. Which 1975 film directed by Peter Weir was about the disappearance of several schoolgirls on Valentine's Day in 1900? Possibly the hardest question of the quiz this week. It's a 1975 film directed by Peter Weir about the disappearance of several schoolgirls on Valentine's Day in 1900, but what was the name of the movie? Number 9. It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair. It's the opening line of a very famous song. Okay, and if you were watching last week, then you'll probably have a heads up, because yours truly attempted to sing said song. It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair. It's the opening line to which song? If you know, it's worth a point. And number 10, a route master is an example of which mode of transport? Please be exact. A route master is an example of which mode of transport? Please be exact. Those are your 10 questions. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, and then I will recap them. I went dumb for a minute, apparently, but you saw the questions. And your bonus question for 10 whopping points is what connects the previous 10 questions. Apologies for being muted, although some of you might welcome that in the next round, I fear. But for 10 bonus questions, in the round your 10 answers have one thing in common. What is it? Right then, we move on to our final round. Out of Tune Alfie, if you've never seen us before, this is a round where you get to hear some song lyrics. The catch is, I'm going to sing them. The bigger catch is, I can't sing. So it makes this round quite eventful. 1 point for the song, 1 point for the singer. And here is your first song. Unaware but underlined, I figured out the story. It wasn't good, but in the corner of my mind, I celebrated glory. There we go. See, I wasn't lying. I can't sing. That's how this round got its name. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. Right, try your luck at number 2. By now, you should have realised what you got to do. Something like that. I'll try it again. Here we go. By now, you should have realised what you got to do. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. Number 3. But how many heartaches must I stand before I find a love to let me live again? See, I bet you wish you couldn't hear me now. I do feel sorry for anybody who's just tuned in for this round, by the way. But how many heartaches must I stand before I find a love to let me live again? Oh, right. Number 4. So needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but that's me stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. That wasn't bad, was it? It wasn't bad. I reckon, however bad that was, it helped. No? Okay then. Try your luck at number 5. It goes a little bit, or it's supposed to, like this. 12:30 and I'm watching the late show in my flat all alone. How I hate to spend the evening on my own. It won't win me any awards, but I hope it helped. Number 6. I'm gonna hit the highway like a battering ram on a silver black feather bike. When the metal is hot and the engine is hungry and we're all about to see the light. Now, 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. You want it again? Okay. I'm gonna hit the highway like a battering ram on the silver black feather bike. When the metal is hot and the engine is hungry and we're all about to see the light. Hey, hey. Number 7. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, I don't mind what I do you mean, I am the one. I've no idea how that many words fit into that many notes, but she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, I don't mind what I do you mean, I am the one. Oh. You can have that clue for free. Number 8. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go. But I know I'll think of you every step of the way. Sorry, I got a bit carried away on that. Would you like number 8? Of course you would. Number 8. I'm the trouble starter, punking instigator. I'm the fear addicted danger illustrator. There's only one song that could be, really. I am the trouble starter, punking instigator. I'm the fear addicted danger illustrated. And if you thought that was bad, number 10. When the day is dawning on a Texas Sunday morning, how I long to be there with Marie who's waiting for me, yeah. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. Those are your 10 out of tune. Alfie, here's some time to think about them. So you had 10 songs, and I vaguely sang them. This time I'll just give you the lyrics in case that helps. For some of you, I'm sure it might. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. Number 1, unaware but underlined, I figured out this story, it wasn't good. But in the corner of my mind I celebrated glory. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. Number 2, by now you should have realised what you've got to do. Number 3, but how many heartaches must I stand before I find a love to let me live again? Number 4, so needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but that's me stumbling away, slowly learning life is okay. Number 5, 12:30, and I'm watching The Late Show in my flat all alone. How I hate to spend the evening on my own. Number 6, I'm going to hit the highway like a battering ram on a silver black phantom bike when the metal is hot and the engine is hungry and we're all about to see the light. Number 7, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, I don't mind, what do you mean? And I am the one. Number 8, if I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I'll think of you every step of the way. Number 9, I'm the trouble starter, punking instigator. I'm the fear addicted danger illustrated. And number 10, when the day's dawning on a Texas Sunday morning, how I long to be there with Marie who's waiting for me there. Yeah, haha. Those are your 10 song lyrics. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song, which means overall you could get a whopping 100 points tonight. So it's judgment time, ladies and gentlemen. Time to find out how you got on with your answers. I'll give you a few seconds just to get your final guesses and deliberations in. Right then, it's time to get those pens working and find out which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. Our first round was It's January, all things to do with January. Number 1, the most celebrated poet, celebrated on the most celebrated in Scotland. I'm just breaking these teeth in for somebody else. On the 25th, my mouth's gone now, there we go. On the 25th of January, The answer being Robert Burns, Burns Night, of course it was. Number 2, which world city means River of January? The answer is Rio de Janeiro. See? All makes sense now, doesn't it? Number 3, Margaret Thatcher Day. It's celebrated on the 10th of January, but where? Well, it's the Falkland Islands. Number 4, the astrological sign that represents January the 20th to February the 18th. That's Aquarius. This is the age of that, I hear. January's got 31 months. How many other months have 31 days? Well, if you sung the rhyme properly, you would have worked out it's 7. January's birthstone. It's dark red and it comes from a 14th century English word. Did you guess or did you know it was garnet? The American federal holiday, celebrated on the 3rd Monday of January every year. That's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The singer who was born with the name David Robert Jones on January the 8th, I'm sure you saw all over social media, David Bowie. The American institution that opened its first location in the Soviet Union on January the 31st, 1990 was McDonald's. Of course it was. And a rock and roll Hall of Famer, superstar Supremo. He was born on January the 8th, 1935, the one and only ladies and gentlemen, Elvis Presley. Those are your first 10 answers for It's January. And then we had a bonus question. It's worth 10 whopping points. Did you work it out? In 1888, on January the 3rd, an invention was made by putting paraffin on paper, rolling it into a tube. The man who invented it was called Marvin Stone, and he just invented the drinking straw. If you got that, you got yourself 10 big bonus points. Round 2 was Juicy Bits. Juicy Bits, all you had to tell me what the name of the item I was putting in my juicer. Number 1. Did you guess or did you know it was an apple? Number 2. That was a banana. Number 3. A little bit more tricky. Number 3 was a beetroot. Number 4 was a carrot. Number 5 was a fig. Number 6 was a grape. Number 7, did you get it? Is a grapefruit. Number 8 is a kiwi fruit. Number 9, what was it? What do you reckon? It was a mango. And number 10, did you have a guess? Or did you know it was a strawberry? So I wonder how many of those you guessed at. And I wonder how many you got right. So then we moved swiftly on to our round. Oh, sorry, I had a bonus question. The fruit. The largest ever fruit in the world. I tried to help you out explaining that a tomato was a fruit so that you didn't go too far down the melon route, because the answer is a pumpkin. 10 points if you wrote pumpkin. And if you didn't write pumpkin or a variety of pumpkin, then you don't score anything. Unlucky, but it was worth a guess. Our next round was Who's This Then? And I showed you 10 famous faces, some more famous than others. You had to work out who they were. Number 1, who was it? It was Bob Dylan. Number 2, depends how rich you are, because he was on a banknote. That's Alan Turing. Number 3, yeah, I heard you all screaming he was in Doctor Who. That's Peter Capaldi. Number 4, you know his face, did you know his name? His name is Timothy Spall. Number 5, he changed your life forever, but did you know his name? His name is Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Number 8 was Jim Morrison. Number 9, I said it was taken a long, long time ago, and I wasn't lying. That is a very young Christopher Biggins. Taken when he was in Porridge. Number 9 is Stephen King. That was 8. Number 9 was Danny Boyle. And number 10, well, this was probably the one you had a guess at. Butch Cassidy. I wonder how many people got Butch Cassidy. Like I say, it's always worth a guess. Okay, your bonus question was 2 people mashed together. There was a little hint there that said new balls, which sort of implied it might be tennis, and it was Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic. 5 points for each of those names, giving you 10 points to win there. Alright, round. 10 seemingly random questions, but you did find out something connected them. How did you get on? The animal called Wheezy in Toy Story 2 is a penguin. The book by Douglas Adams that's very, very famous is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Number 3, the annual sporting event held in the UK, started in 1981, is the London Marathon. The 1976 film, directed by Martin Scorsese and starred Robert De Niro, and it was set in New York. Of course it was set in New York. Taxi Driver. The group that had top 10 hits with Kissing in the Back Row of the Movies, Saturday Night at the Movies, Save the Last Dance for Me, was the Drifters. In The Wizard of Oz, the character that was looking for courage was the lion. The historical event that Captain Bligh is best known for is Mutiny on the Bounty. Some people are starting to see the connection now. The 1975 film, directed by Peter Weir, that was about the disappearance of several schoolgirls on Valentine's Day in 1900, was Picnic at Hanging Rock. It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair is the opening line from Life on Mars by David Bowie. Just the 1 point in this round though. Life on Mars was all we needed. And Route Master is an example of which mode of transport. I said be exact because you needed to say the magic words double-decker. Double-decker bus. So for 10 bonus points, what connects all of those things? Well, if you didn't get it at the time, I'm sure you got it now. They are all, in fact, places in America. No, I'm joking. They are all chocolate bars. And then we came to the one that you love to turn up your stereos for. Out of Tune Alfie, I sang, we use that term rather loosely, 10 songs, and you had to work out what they were. Unaware but underlined, I figured out the story. That was Back for Good by Take That. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. By now, you should have realised what you got to do. That's Oasis and Wonderwall. Everybody got caught out on an Oasis question last week. Did you get caught out again? Number 3. How many heartaches must I stand before I find a love? Don't hurry, love. You can't hurry, love. And you could have put Diana Ross or Phil Collins, and you can have the point, no matter which one you said. 1 point for the singer, 1 point for the song. So needless to say, I'm at odds and ends, but that's me stumbling away. Did you get it? It's Take On Me by a-ha. Number 5, 12:30 and I'm watching The Late Show. It's ABBA. Gimme, gimme, gimme. My favourite, number 6. I'm gonna hit the highway like a battering ram on a silver black phantom bike. Did you get it? Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf. Number 7. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Oh! Michael Jackson, Billie Jean was the correct answer. Number 8. If I should stay, I will only be in your way. Whitney Houston, I will always love you. I won't always love that song, I must confess. But Whitney Houston, I will always love you is the correct answer. Number 9, I'm the trouble starter, pumpkin instigator. I think I nearly gave it away, but I'm sure everybody knew it was Firestarter by The Prodigy. And number 10, When the Day is Dawning on a Texas Sunday Morning, How I Long to Be There. Sing along with us now. Tony Christie, Peter Kay, Is This the Way to Amarillo? No, it's not, but it's a good way to end the quiz and say to you all, right, if you've got a tick next to it, you get a point. Add them all up and work out how many you got out of 100. And if you're watching on the Facebookie, you can put your team name and your scores in the comment section for everybody else to see. We'll know how well you did. And if you enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you didn't, keep it to your bleeding selves. But if you did, tell your friends, and that way we'll do it all again next week. I've been Alfie Malone. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe, everybody. See you in a week.